Welcome to part 2 of our video buying series. Today we're going to be discussing the pre-approval process. And it's the part that a lot of buyers just kind of want to push aside. And I get it. You want to talk about your criteria, figure out what your dream home is, and then go see property. And if I'm being honest, seeing property is my favorite part. But that's part 3. So let's focus on why it is important to get pre-approved before you even step foot in a house. The most important reason why you want to be pre-approved before seeing property is understanding where your budget truly is. You start seeing properties out there for $350,000 or $500,000. Have you ever sat back and thought, how much is that really on a monthly basis? Well, to figure that out, a great step that you can take is talk to a lender and get pre-approved. So you can really understand what your budget is, what you're comfortable paying, and then really draw that line and make sure that we stick to your budget. Now that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, it's really important, is all about timing. We live, at least here in South Florida, in a competitive market. So let's say that you go out, you see a property you love, and you're ready to make an offer. But before you make an offer, you have to now get pre-approved. So you're gonna be behind all the other buyers that already got pre-approved. So to be in the game and to be ready to make an offer when you see a house that you love, you're gonna wanna have your pre-approval ready. That's what I recommend, and that's why we're talking about the pre-approval or the financing process as step number 2. Let's go into a few more specifics on the pre-approval process. The first thing I want you to do is find a lender that you feel comfortable with. There are so many lenders, just like there are so many realtors, and you want to make sure that you click with your lender and that they're giving you the best information, that they're patient with you, and that you can feel like you can ask as many questions as you need to. Now, the lender is going to ask you a few different questions about your credit, how much money you make, how long you've been at your job, how much debt you have, and they may ask you these questions up front just to get a better understanding of how they can help you and how they can guide you in the right direction. Ultimately, one of the first things that they're going to check is your credit score, your FICO score. Now, if you have excellent credit, tier 1, you're going to be able to qualify for the absolute best rates, which right now, as we stand in 2020, we have historically low rates. They have never been lower, and we're going to touch on that later in our video. But what about if you feel that you're unqualified, that your credit is too low? Well, I don't want you to give up just yet, because if you have at least a 580 FICO score, you can qualify for an FHA loan, which requires as little as a 3.5% down payment. If you have at least a 620 credit score, you can qualify for a conventional loan. And they also have low down payment plans for first-time home buyers. But does that mean that there's no use in having high credit, that you won't benefit from it? No, of course not. Having a tier 1 or excellent credit score, anything above 720 all the way to the 800s, that means you're going to take advantage of the best interest rates. In easier to understand terms, what exactly does that mean? Well, if you were to purchase a home that was $375,000 with a 2.75 interest rate instead of a 3.5 interest rate, you would save over 30 years about $60,000. And on a monthly basis, you'll save about $150. By having a great credit score and qualifying for these low interest rates that the lenders are giving out, you could save a lot of money on a monthly basis, a lot of money over the whole term of your loan, and ultimately, it's going to give you way more buying power. Now, I did want to go over a different kind of loan, which is a VA loan. This is for veterans, and veterans can take advantage of this loan where you actually have a 0% down payment. And if you are able to, I highly recommend taking advantage of this loan and buying a property with 0% down. Okay, so we spoke to the lender, we gave him our financial information, he ran my credit, and you're pre-approved. Well, congratulations. How much were you pre-approved for? Was it $1 million? Was it $700,000? Was it $300,000? Well, figuring out what that total amount equals on a monthly basis is just as important. I've seen clients approved for a certain number. For example, $400,000 Your lender says you're pre-approved to that amount. Does that mean that you need to stretch yourself all the way to that limit? Of course not. $400,000 is going to equal a specific amount of money per month. Do you need to spend all of that money per month? Absolutely not. You can buy a property for $320 or $340 or $280. So figuring out how much your total pre-approved amount equals on a monthly basis is something I would do right away. Ask your lender so you can build a monthly budget and stick to that budget. One more important part I wanted to mention was calculating your insurance and your taxes. Sometimes a lender can underestimate on these expenses. I have a separate video entitled 2 Biggest Budgeting Mistakes Home Buyers Make. I'm going to leave it linked below, and that's going to explain a little better in a quick video how to calculate your taxes and your insurance just to make sure that your budgeting is right on point. Now it's time for the fun part. This is my favorite part. It's seeing properties online, setting up showings, and going to see them in person. And that will be video number 3. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. I hope you've enjoyed these 2 so far, and I'll catch you in the next one.